Is there ever something that you want and you don't really know how to get there? You don't really know the actions to take, the resource to look up. You don't have the people in your life. You don't even know the questions to ask on Google or some AI or whatever. And so the idea is that we can use our own higher mind. We can use our own subconscious mind as sort of like our own all-knowing receiver of information. And so one of the ways that we tune it to get the insights that we're looking for, to get access to the things we desire and experience in our life, is by asking useful questions. And I find there's two types of really useful questions and one type of not so useful question. I'll start with the not so useful one. So the not so useful question, the idea is it's asking predictive questions, like what's going to happen in the future. And certainly some people are prophetic and they know and they get the feeling and all this kind of stuff. I find for my own experience and for most people that kind of question is really just based on the feeling that we feel right now. And we can tap into that future if we focus on it. And at the same time, there's the high probability that whatever I think is going to happen in the future doesn't happen, and I can end up on some other timeline. And so the idea there, the best questions are about now questions or open-ended questions. And so by now questions, I mean do now questions, like what's the most useful thing I can do now to help myself generate wealth and abundance in a way that I love? And so by asking that kind of a question, the mind, the subconscious mind, opens up to get those answers. And so if we ask ourselves those kinds of questions more often, we'll get responses, we'll get downloads for those kinds of things. Like, how can I work smarter, not harder? How can I generate more wealth in less time? How can I create more free time in my life and still do all the things that are meaningful to me? How can I be in alignment with this? How can I manifest my desires more easily? Right? So these kinds of questions, when we put them out there, they bring back downloads, insights, epiphanies. When we're in alignment, we have that space between thoughts. That's where they drop in. The other kind of question that I find really helpful is the open-ended question. I was just kind of already doing them. And those are the questions that don't necessarily have one answer, because every time we ask an open-ended question, our mind goes out on an open loop and keeps bringing back responses to that over and over again. So I really enjoy when our questions are positively framed and oriented toward our desires. If you don't know what that is, you could even start with those kinds of questions, like what do I desire? What do I prefer? What do I love to experience? What are my passions? What is my passionate purpose that I can generate prosperity and with people I prefer? So the idea is that when we ask these kinds of questions, our mind goes out and finds these kind of answers. And so asking the question, that's like tuning the vibration. That's like focusing on what we prefer. And then it's like connecting into infinite intelligence through our inner guidance. And then when we create the space within, when we get in alignment, that's when the downloads come in. I find that happens so easily and automatically often when I'm like showering or out on a walk or out in nature or getting ready to sleep or in a meditation. These are times when we're naturally more allowing. And so there's whatever process or experience that allows you to be in more allowing space that could help you out. So by asking these kinds of open-ended questions and contemplating the answers and allowing the space for them to drop in, you can gain access and insight to your own infinite intelligence that will guide you to your own desires. So if you ask those open-ended questions about whatever it is that you desire, so the mind starts stirring in that direction, then ask the do now questions like, what can I do right now to experience that? And then trust that that path is unfolding from a downloading of a divine plan. That can really help have powerful transformational experiences. And with all this, as all permission slips, the key is to be in alignment first. And if you don't know how to get in alignment, I guess ask questions, how can I get in alignment? But I make lots of videos on that. One of the keys there is conscious breathing. Anyway, so the idea there is this is stuff I love to help people with, love to help people have transformational experience with this. My name's Kent Peterson, and you can check out the links through my bio or the description or whatever. And I have little mini books I've written on this. I have courses. I have a lot of old content in my Facebook group, Manifesting Mastermind. And now I'm putting more information and resources out there to help more people and stepping into a bigger a way to broadcast in a bigger way with social media. So if you like any help with this, join one of my coaching programs, hire me as a coach, read one of my books, watch more of my videos. I'd love to help you out.